forum of the new board year. Thank you ever so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and your input and your questions. We're really going to have a great conversation today. We had a lot of really exciting and important updates for you. And again, we really appreciate everything you do for IABC. Your leadership, your support, your hard work, your time, your energy, and your blood, sweat, and tears sometimes, I know, are so much appreciated, and we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you, first of all, very much for that. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about today. We're going to get an important update on certification from the GCCC, the Global Communications Certification Council, and we're hoping to get our chair on pretty soon. Terry Sarasols hopefully will join us shortly. And we also have our new acting Executive Director, Stephanie Dutu. We're thrilled to have on board today as well. As you know, we have had some moving into a new chapter at headquarters with Stephanie taking over as the Executive Director upon the departure of Carlos Fulcher. So we're looking forward to a lot of great updates from Stephanie. She has hit the ground running. She has the insights, the wisdom, the intelligence, and the experience that really is making a difference in a very short amount of time already. Many of you know her as our former Global Membership Director, where she did a outstanding job as well. And of course, we have our amazing Vice Chair, Sharon Hunter, with us. She's going to have a lot of great updates from the Council of Regions that will cover everything from a little update on Leadership Institute, as well as some of the work of the core as the nominating committee for the new Foundation Committee, which, you know, of course, I'm very excited about. But speaking of Stephanie, let's jump right in. And we only have 30 minutes. I want to make sure that we get to everything, and especially your input and your comments and questions. Please do go ahead and submit those via chat, and we will get to those in just a few minutes. So Stephanie, take it away.
All right, thanks, Diane. So I just wanted to say that I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to step into this role. As Diane mentioned, I've served as the IABC Membership Director for the past year plus, and I'm intimately familiar with the challenges we've gone through in the last year, the progress we've made, and the tremendous opportunity we still have in front of us. So as we move through this time of transition, we have a heavy focus on continuity and continued advancement and making sure that we continue to realize the opportunity. We have a lot of great work happening. So a couple things I wanted to touch on as we sort of give some updates. We have implemented members-only content on the website. We finished the technology implementation last week. You'll notice now that Communication World is a member-only resource. We have more work to do on restricting the content available already, but we also have some work to do to bring new content and resources exclusively available to members. So we intend to shore that up and make it more and more valuable for members as time goes on. Another thing that we're advancing at the office is the purchase and implementation of association management software. As many of you are very well and sometimes painfully aware, IABC has historically underinvested in technology and membership technology. So we continue our progress towards remedying that. We have an RFP closing this week for association management software. It's basically designed to meet the needs of associations. It's going to bring forward a substantially improved member experience in terms of the way folks interact and transact with IABC online. It's going to improve the resources and tools available for chapter leaders. And it's really going to allow us to take an integrated approach to the way IABC functions. This is a budgeted expense, so we've planned well for it. And we're going to continue to advance the project. Just one note on this. One of the key pieces of this will be the implementation, and when we implement, we want to do it right. When we roll this out, the greatest priority in delivering this is that it happens properly, that we don't have hangups and glitches, and that we create a seamless transition. So the implementation on this is a little bit longer. This is not something you should look to see in the next 3 to 4 months. We're going to take our time and do it right. So next thing, as we work on shoring up member value, we hosted our first in a long time free for members webinar today, and we had over 200 people registered. So this was a great success, and we're really excited about that and how we can continue working on that in the future. We want to make sure that IABC members know how much we appreciate them and love them also. So, you know, we have a lot of initiatives and conversations around how do we make sure members know we love them and appreciate them. One of the things we're doing this month is that for members who renew their membership in August, we're sending them a 20% discount coupon for an IABC on-demand workshop for use before the end of the year. It's just a little surprise thank you from us to thank you for being a member and thank you for renewing. And last thing I want to update on is the Best of Show webinar series is launching. So Best of Show brings the Best of World Conference to your doorstep wherever you are in the world. They start September 14th and end October 11th. And just a key piece of this is that there's an opportunity for revenue sharing for registrations with chapters. And the details of that revenue share are posted on Leader Center, so you can access all of the information there. We're happy to answer any questions you might have about that. Those are probably the biggest things I wanted to talk to you about today. I mean, I'm looking forward to all the great work we're going to continue to do together. I and everyone at HQ appreciates all that you do so much.
Great. Lots of wonderful things, and especially that nice little surprise about the discount for people renewing in August. That's excellent. So I'm sure there'll be maybe a few questions about that and some of the other things that Stephanie mentioned. But lots, as Stephanie said, lots of really exciting and wonderful progress being made and forward movement going on, thanks to the dedication of an incredible staff, a hardworking staff at headquarters. So thank you for that. And we will move now. I think Terry is with us, but we're going to let her get in place. And I'd love to talk a minute about the IABC Foundation Committee. As you know, the IABC Foundation was reinvigorated and relaunched officially at World Conference this past year, and we're thrilled with the interest that we've already received. We had a really great contingent, shall we say, of applicants to serve on the Foundation Committee. Just very gratified about the interest and the response for really making this foundation a super success. And we will be going through the nominating process. And on that point, as mentioned, the Council of Regents does serve now as IABC's nominating committee. Very, very important work. A lot of really heavy lifting at certain times during the year, so we appreciate our Council of Regions, our region chairs, for stepping up to the table for this important work. And on that note, I'd love to turn it over to Sharon, who is chair of the core as vice chair of IABC, for an update on the process around the Foundation Committee selection, along with a bit of an Leadership Institute update and some of the other work that's going on.
Thank you, Diane. Can everybody hear me? So basically, the core is very, very busy right now because, in fact, our session is tomorrow to review the nominations for the Foundation Committee for a recommended slate to go to the IEB's next meeting on September 7th. So that's when they will vote on the recommendation to put this new committee in place for the foundation. That's very exciting. The open calls went out earlier in the month, and so this has been a pretty complete process from A to Z, led by the nominations committee chair, Michael Ambiorn, who is past chair of IABC. And so I'm really looking forward to participating in that session tomorrow, along with all of our regional leaders who are giving so much of their time. In terms of Leadership Institute, that's also work in progress. As you know, it will be in Dallas, February 23rd to 25th at the Dallas Sheraton Hotel. At this point, the core is very, very busy looking through topics, choosing themes, and working on constructing the best sessions you can imagine to make this a special experience this year. Lots going on, but more to come in the months to come about the Leadership Institute. So please save the date. That's it at this point on Leader Institute. You're on mute, Diane.
I talk to myself all the time. I don't need to do it in public, though. So the selection process for the Foundation Committee, we expect to have the slate submitted to the September 7th IEB. So it's short-term work here, and we should have an announcement coming up after the September 7th. international board meeting. So very excited about that. And then a bit about World Conference. The call for speakers has just opened. Very exciting, breaking news. So make sure to mark your calendars, first of all, for the conference in Washington, D.C. next June 11th through the 14th in Washington again. And please do submit if you are ready to present on the theme, which is global business, lead communication, make real impact. We want to hear from you. Submit your application to speak at World Conference. You can go ahead and do that now, or certainly encourage those you know who actually could engage and inspire us to be better professional communicators and add to our IABC value. That would be fantastic too. But again, please do check the website. The call for speakers for World Conference is now open, and we're thrilled with the theme, which is global business, lead communication, make real impact. Lots of amazing work going on by the PAC already this year. They're making lots of strides in terms of elevating this conference, elevating what we do, elevating the profession, elevating IABC's visibility in the global marketplace. So huge thanks for the work that is being done by Sarah McLaughlin as chair of the PAC this year, and her incredible committee of dedicated volunteers. And again, speaking of World Conference, getting back to Best of Show, as Stephanie mentioned, the second annual Best of Show series is, registration is now open, and so we want to encourage you to look at the 5 best of the best who have been selected to be Best of Show presenters this year for the webinar series. They're really outstanding in each of their disciplines, and hope that you will take advantage of this opportunity. If you didn't go to World Conference, or even if you did and you wanted to take another look at what they presented, that would be fantastic. If you did attend World Conference, you do get a 50% discount. So that's a pretty good deal right there too. It also tees up the fact that this is some of a taste of what World Conference 2017 will provide as well, in terms of showcasing really outstanding professional communication in various disciplines. The first one is set for September 15th or 14th, I believe, Angie Lindsay on leadership and strategy. So check out the Best of Show webinar series. And we have Terry on here, but I'm not seeing her, so I'm not sure. Terry, can you hear us? We love technology, sort of, kind of. I think she's here. In the meantime, we do have a couple of questions that we can get to. So, Stephanie, I'd love for you to jump in here as well. Were the Best of Show webinars pre-recorded at World Conference, or are they being reorchestrated and recorded? And I know Stephanie can address that.
Sure. These were not recorded at World Conference. They are being reorchestrated. So this is an opportunity to sort of have a stab at attending them. And we'll get everybody involved in that way. I think the other part of that question is, do we have available for you an upcoming list of free to members webinars, topics and dates? We do not. This was sort of a pilot to see how it went, and it was glowingly successful. So we will be working on creating a schedule and set of dates for you and topics, and we'll make those available as soon as possible.
Excellent. Great. There's something to look forward to for sure. While we're waiting for Terry to get her video working, maybe Sharon, you can talk a little bit about as oh, here she comes. Terry is in the house. Yay. You're on mute though. Everyone remembers Terry, the terrific treasurer. Hello. And now she is our amazing chair.
Here we go.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. I
Hey,
am so
Terry.
sorry that I was a few minutes late. Blame it on my boss. You know, it's hard sometimes to run away when they're still talking. But I am delighted to be with Stephanie and Sharon and Diane and all of you today. probably a few of you know me, maybe not everybody. I am currently the chair of the Global Communication Certification Council, better known as the GCCC, with that catchy name. And I'd like to give you just kind of a brief update of what we've got going on and answer any questions that you might have. So let me start with the CMP, the Communication Management Professional, which is the current exam that we're offering. I'm happy to say that I was one of the class of 6 last year who sat for the inaugural exam back in San Francisco. I was actually on the board of directors along with Sharon when we were transitioning from the ABC to the new certification. So having been part of the development, or at least observing the development of it, I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to be one of the first people to take it. So I did. I will tell you, I didn't even tell anybody I was sitting for the exam because I didn't know if I would pass or not. So I did pass, and I am a huge cheerleader for the entire certification program, for the whole approach, and certainly for that exam. So the CMP it is not a foundational level. It's at the generalist, specialist level for those communication professionals that have between 5 and 10 years of experience. We are accepting applications anytime. I'll probably repeat myself, but on the IABC website, under professional development, there is a tab for certification. There is tons of information. It tells you what you need to know about prepping for the exam, about the content of the exam, the fact that it is currently in English only, it is multiple choice, and that it is currently paper-based, but we are working diligently on an electronic version. Let me tell you where it is being offered. So we have 7 exam sites this fall. They are October 1st in Dallas, Texas, October the 8th in 3 locations, the Regina chapter in Saskatchewan, the Heritage Region, which is in Columbus, the conference in Columbus, Ohio, and the Jacksonville, Florida chapter. All those are October 8th, followed by October the 15th in Victoria, Australia, for any of our Aussie friends who are on today, October 22nd in Toronto, Canada, and October 29th in Calgary, Canada. We do have interest from the BC chapter, Vancouver, and 2 cities in Africa, Joburg and Cape Town, but they have decided to push theirs from this fall into 2017, but they are still scheduled to host that. These cities and those dates, again, all available on the certification website. In addition to that, I believe we will offer it at Leadership Institute, correct, Diane?
Yes, we will.
In Dallas in February 23rd, I believe that is. And we will also offer it again next June at World Conference. So you can kind of count on Leadership Institute and World Conference, and then look on the website. We expect to be adding quite a few more cities. We do try to group them together. As you know, we have a very small staff that works behind the scenes on the application process and on the exam process. So we are definitely trying to group those, but we will continually be adding new dates. So like I say, lots of information there. Let me speak just briefly about the next level of exam, the SCMP, the Strategic Communication Management Professional. That is the higher level exam at what our career roadmap calls the Strategic Advisor level. It's for those of us that have 10 plus years of experience. And so where we are in that process is in June in New Orleans, we had a 2-day session. We brought together, and I was happy to be part of that process, people like myself with that level of experience, and we identified the knowledge domains for that level, pretty well fleshed that out, and we are now in the process of having our exam writers take those tasks that we identified and write questions to frame up, what does that task look like? What does that competency look like? The exam writers will begin that process in the next couple of months. It is our hope that they finish that and that they get scrubbed by the consultants that we're working with, who are the experts at certification and the process and the due diligence that goes into that. It is still our intent to pilot that exam at Leadership Institute if we stay on schedule. Just like the CMP, it is comprised of 100 multiple choice questions. However, to get those 100, we have to have at least 400 questions to pick from. So imagine having to write 400 questions to be able to pick 100 out of that. So that's where that is, and it is our intent to debut that at World Conference in Washington next June. So the only other thing that for those of you on the call today that I'd like to point out is, so there is an application process. You have to be approved through that application process to then register to sit for one of those exams. You don't have to choose a particular city. You can apply for, pay the fee, be approved for the exam, and then look to see which of those locations is going to fit either where you're based or where your travel schedule is. I will tell you a secret, which is part of the exam application, the application process requires that you document 40 hours of professional training. So I know that when I went and reviewed this in the handbook, I knew that I'd taken a lot of training, but I hadn't necessarily kept that log. So if you're interested in this, start building that file that says, here's the training I took, here's the date, any of your notes about that, so you can begin building the documentation that you will need to submit with your application in order to be approved for that. So that's just something, and I will also add that for those of us who hold the CMP, when I had to renew it this past summer, I had to resubmit documentation of my training in the last year. And I think when you think about it, that's a core piece of the exam that makes it so credible and makes it valuable, is that it's not something that you took 10 years ago, but it means that you are up to date on whatever the trends are and with your current training to still be certified in those competencies. So that's kind of my pitch right now. Again, I'll tell you tons of information on the website. Dr. Foudy and Dr. Hansen do a great job of keeping it updated. So you'll see where there was a location scheduled to host an event, and if that's changed, you'll see it's crossed out. So they do keep that information really updated. So that's kind of everything, and happy to take any questions.
Terry, the terrific treasurer, now chair GCCC, our little dynamo. I love it. Might mention the deadline coming up, Terry, for sitting the exams in October, right? September?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
September 1st, so not too far away. So would love to make sure everyone gets in under the deadline who is interested in going for this valuable.
And can I add one thing that's really important, which is when you apply and you are approved, you have 2 years to actually sit for the exam. So it doesn't have to be in the next 3 months or the next 6 months. Once you're approved, you have 2 years. You can be watching that schedule. And remember, your own location, your chapter may decide that they would like to host an exam there. So if you're thinking about it, go ahead and apply and then be looking for those locations.
Perfect, perfect. And maybe one quick bit about ISO to drive home the fact, Terry, that this elevates the value of this certification in the global marketplace like no other.
Yeah, exactly. And quite frankly, when you think about it, it is on the par with every other professional certification, whether that's accounting or project management. You just look across the industries, and every profession pretty much has a certification, and this again recognizes the value of the communication profession.
Exactly. Perfect. I think there was one question for you, Terry. And also I want to clarify that the link for the call for speakers will launch in the next few days for World Conference. So watch this space, or watch that space. Amy Miller was wondering, is it feasible to add sample exam questions to the info? I believe there's some sample questions on there already, correct?
There are indeed, Amy. In the candidate handbook, which is kind of a multi-page document there, it's not a ton, but it does give you a sampling. I think it's 4 or 5 questions for you to consider. So definitely check that out. I do think that the Certification Council, as part of our marketing effort, are going to be looking for how can we get more information out there about the exam, about what you need to be thinking about before you sit for the exam. So we will be trying to add more information to help answer any questions along the way.
Great, fantastic. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun, right? So we only have 4 minutes left. So any final questions anyone would like to submit before we wrap up here? And in the meantime, some final comments from everyone would be great. Sharon, we'll start with you.
Oh, I would just like to thank everyone for being here. Stay tuned for more on the blog coming up about the outcome of the Foundation Committee nominations. This is really exciting. Also, we're going to be launching the strategy work for the 17-20 cycle very soon. The first session will be in EMENA at their Leadership Institute coming up September 16th. We're still in the process of working out all the different places where we're going to be holding these sort of focus groups. We'll also be at the Southern Region Conference in Atlanta, October 13th and 14th, as well as Heritage a few days before, the 10th and 11th, and we're really excited about this opportunity to engage our community in a global conversation about bringing out the best in us. So stay tuned for more information on that.
Exactly. Very excited. Sharon and I are going to be out, and it's so very much looking forward to being at the Heritage and Southern Region conferences and working with you on this critical strategy process. The work will frame IABC from 17 through 20. As you know, we work on a rolling 3-year strategy. So this is critical work that is led by the Vice Chair of IABC. So thank you, Sharon, for everything you do on that. And Stephanie, any final comments, input?
Just reiteration that I'm so happy to be in this space, and I'm looking forward to all the work that we're going to keep doing together. I'm available to you for questions, comments, feedback, thoughts, ideas. Please reach out to me anytime. I'm here for you.
Excellent, excellent. And Terry?
Well, yeah, so consider me your go-to source for questions about certification. I'm happy if you would like to email me or pick up the phone. Like I say, I have sat for the exam myself, so I can speak from my own experience of that. And I will also say that I'm looking forward to sitting for the next level of exam. I could use a few more initials after my name.
I love it. We love that alphabet soup after our names, right? Well, thank you. We are up against time. I can't tell you how much I appreciate everyone joining in today. Feel free to continue to post questions on the Chapter Leaders LinkedIn group, or certainly by email, or pick up the phone. We are here, absolutely. So thank you ever so much for everything you do. Let's continue to connect and really engage. Together we can do great things. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.